Brought to you by Penguin.
Blame it on Bianca Del Rio, the expert on nothing with an opinion on everything. By Bianca Del Rio. This is the author. To all those people out there who desperately need my advice but won't get it because A, I'm just one woman, B, I'm out there trying to make a living taping my dick to my ass and stuffing my balls in a dress so I can entertain people who can't entertain themselves, or C, I don't give a fuck. Author's note. Dr. Phil is a fat, loud blowhard with a Texas twang and male-pattern baldness. I wouldn't suck his dick for $1 million, but it turns out he's worth $400 million, and for that amount of money, I'd wear his balls as earrings. I'm hitting my knees as I type. Let's get real. The odds of my hooking up with Dr. Phil are slim and curved to the left, but the odds of my making money giving advice like Dr. Phil are pretty good. Wait, I kneel corrected. I give better advice than Dr. Phil. Why? Because his advice is based on education and expertise and know-how. And my advice is based on nothing but years and years of insightful prying and corrosive gossip. That's why. I don't know if I can make $400 million, but I am something of a household name. At least in the houses of gay men, fag hags, and parents who keep wondering why their teenage son Billy doesn't have a girlfriend yet seems to know a lot about contouring. So I should be okay. About a year ago, I began asking my audiences, my fans, and even my haters all over the world to send me questions they'd like the answers to or problems they'd like solved. I can't tell you how many questions I got. I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean it literally. I mean really, really bad at math. And my loyal self-assistant, Jamie, is equally useless at the counting thing. What I do know is that I've gotten enough letters to write a book. Or 2, or 3, depending on whether or not you tell your friends, families, and fuck buddies to buy this book, so we'll turn up a nifty profit and my publisher will say, "My God, fuck Dr. Phil. Blame it on Bianca Del Rio is literally a gold mine. We must have a sequel." Another author's note. I know it's not proper editorial form, whatever the fuck that is, to have its second author's note, but I was having cocktails when I wrote the first one and left this out. So, I received 6 billion trillion letters, emails, and Facebook posts from people asking me for advice. If that sounds like a lot, I assure you it's true. Donald Trump told me that he heard this from people who told him that they read it somewhere. Needless to say, a lot of the questions I was asked was somewhat alike in nature, tone, and language. So when you're reading this hilarious book and think to yourself, "Oh my God, that's my letter," it's not. Also, I've changed a lot of the names, not to protect the innocent, but to protect me from the crazy bitches who will call and write an email over and over saying, "Oh, Bianca, thank you so much for using my letter. I knew you liked me." Bitch, I didn't use your letter. You just think I did. Because you're a narcissist in desperate need of counseling or medication, in which case, don't forget to share. I also got lots of emails and letters saying, I read a question just like that in Dear Abby, which tells me 2 things. Number 1, you're old. Dear Abby's been dead for years. And 2, you need counseling. No healthy, sane person remembers random advice questions years later. Get some help. FYI, there are a lot of advice columnists all over the world. Check out Svetlana, that Siberian husky that makes me howl, especially when she gives advice on diet and exercise. Poor thing's never been inside the Kremlin because she can't fit. Also, Abby Ann Landers, Amy, the snotty queen in the Sunday New York Times, and my Uncle Nunzio, who has an opinion on everything and a cleft palate. He doesn't so much give advice as to test your patience, and most of the questions we receive are similar. They're usually about romance. I'm in love with a werewolf. Sex. My werewolf boyfriend comes too quick. Money. I think my caregiver is stealing my Medicare benefits. Or family. My relatives are nice to my brother's kids, but not mine. Do you think it's because they're part werewolf? So don't be shocked if some of the questions feel familiar. With the possible exception of me and Edward James Olmos, dermatologist, everyone in the world has the same fucking problems. So get over yourselves. You're not unique. In fact, you're probably a tad boring. And like everything else, I say that in a kind, loving way. Oh, and it's also entirely possible I just made...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?